going to be added on later.
You know what y'all need to tell
crazy.
them? Y'all need to tell them that we need caller ID here because we be getting a lot of crazy callers. Yeah, but some of them shouldn't be calling. They be saying the nastiest things.
Oh, we're gonna take care of that tonight.
Okay, I got my
But those are
bodyguard.
funny.
Hey, tonight it's the two smartest vatos y un grande negro. We got to know that shit.
So just
Well, hey,
so
I'm
you
Afro-Latino, so you're going to have another brother.
For all y'all out there, TV land, you call that shit tonight you want to. You see how big my ass? I will come to your house. I swear. I will come. I will find your ass. Okay. I'm the muscle around. Hey, you call.
the monster in the closet is afraid of Richard. Richard is the one that comes out of. He scares the monster in the closet.
Okay, we got 1 minute.
Yeah, I got water. I got 2 waters. That's all I got.
Well,
I'm fine.
You okay? I'll go get some more. Let me go get some more.
well, hurry up because we got about a minute. And so everything's set right. The show is just going to come on, right?
All right, I'm going to
You
start
got to
recording.
cue me. You got to cue me.
I'll come on the show. I'll tell you when you're on.
Okay.
All right, folks. So we're going to.
Okay.
You're going to hear some of the background behind the scenes on the
Okay,
two
you're in,
smartest
George. This is your
vatos in
chair.
the room.
It's your mic and it's your chair.
Okay.
And just so you know, the voices you're hearing.
Let me hurry up.
Yeah, just so everybody listening, you're going to hear 4 people on the show. And it's George Iñiguez, Bobby Valderas, Richard Walker, and
The
myself,
great-
Daniel Garza.
The great sports Morpheus.
The great
baby.
sports Morpheus. So that voice that you hear. And so as you're listening to the show, just know that we are recording
See, they got to put the colors
live.
together so we can really see it in HD.
So I'm going to stop talking about the show, and you guys are going to start listening to the two smartest vatos in the room, which is about to start in about 1 minute. So to all my listeners on Put It Together, this is what I do when I come to Houston. I get to be on TV.
Okay.
We're down
that's
to-
it. Okay.
We're about
How
a
many-
minute.
George?
Yeah.
Let me know.
'It's so exciting, folks, behind the scenes.
How many seconds?
15 seconds to
Okay. Let me know. Here we go.
almost counting.
Smile. Here we go. Hi, once again, I'd like to welcome you to the Two Smartest Vatos TV show, the Two Smartest Guys TV show. We got a great show for you today. So stay tuned, get your popcorn, get your drinks, whatever you need, take your shoes off and relax. You just got on for work. We got a great show today. We got, once again, our special guest, once again, Mr. Danny Garza. He was with us before about a month ago.
Yeah, right before Christmas.
And so, and we have another special guest today, ladies and gentlemen. We got Richard Walker, the great sport Morpheus,
Is that hard to say?
and George Ignis.
I know. Why did you say that? We're supposed to be smart and we're not. What the heck's going on there, man?
Is it that the smart vato thing is like getting contagious? People are catching on.
I think slowly.
Okay,
they're trying to catch
I
on.
guess it's the smartest fellas today.
The fellas.
The fellas.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Richard, you could be an honorary vato.
Well, I told him tonight we could have a subtitle. You have the two smartest vatos y un grande negro.
Wait a minute. So what am I? Chopped liver?
Yeah, chopped liver.
You got to fight for your own spot. And the guest and the special guest.
But we got some great topics and some great things happening today. So once again, let's get this show going and just stick with us. It's going to be a great show.
So who wants to start it off? What story you want to start off with?
I guess, can I start with this one?
You want to start off with this?
Yeah.
Do that one. Do that one. I like that one.
I really, the Olympics are coming, so I have mixed feelings about the Olympics.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I start with that one?
Yes, yes.
I have mixed feelings. First of all, no disrespect to the athletes out there. I think that you guys are amazing, and you.
And they work hard.
They work really hard, and I think you deserve to go and showcase what you do. On the other hand, who is he? The government in Russia, and I forget.
Yeah,
his,
yeah, and the prime minister.
Anatoly Bakomov.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, so apparently there's something in the water in Russia, and I think we should get some of that water to the States immediately because there are no gay people in his city.
What are they doing there?
And so, but in the United States, we are so, I don't know, it depends on what side of the coin you're sitting on. Either we're really smart and just going to throw it in their faces, or we're really stupid. Because the whole delegation that is going from the United States, the representatives, everybody's gay.
They're all gay.
And I think it's kind of like saying
like, what the
it's
heck?
hunting
It's
season.
gonna be an interesting time when they go through customs. I
Well,
tell you that.
it's like saying it's hunting season, so let's send some deer over there. I don't know why.
You think that was a bad move?
I think it's stupid, and I love President Obama. You're the best president I've ever seen. But to send out a group of gay representatives, knowing that most of the athletes, not most of them, but
hated.
there's a lot of athletes who are gay. Then you add to that now they've put a special order that any of the U.S. team members, when they leave the compound, they're not allowed to wear the uniforms, in danger that they might be targeted.
Yeah.
So not only are we, but of course, it wasn't until that happened that they really made a big deal out of it. Never mind that the gay people might be targeted, but as soon as it was a general thing. So I just think that from the moment something came up, we should have just boycotted. We should have pulled back.
And
Coca-Cola should have pulled back. McDonald's should have pulled back. But I understand that it's the money.
Yeah, it's all money.
Yeah,
It's
I
all
understand it.
That's a lot of money
But-
that's getting pulled back.
Why would you purposely send your athletes and send your people to a
Well, I guess
country
they're
that
sending a
doesn't
message.
want you?
They're sending a message supposedly. Hey, what percent do you think is gay?
Well, you know what? I don't know if you remember.
You'll be surprised. And this is, I go on around these kind of things. You know, I'm on the fence because you have gay guys in all sports that have been around since the beginning of time. You had gay gladiators fighting in lions in the Roman days.
I seen that movie 300. I seen 300.
Yeah.
Anybody would want to be gay if you look like that. I'm just saying.
I question Russell Crowe, so. But you had this gay dynamic in sports for the longest time, and on one hand, I understand, that you're trying to get your message across. You're trying to be accepted in society, be able to marry this and the other, but you can't use it as a crutch either. You can't use it as here's my platform where I'm going to get special privileges or I'm going to get additional compensation or additional face time because of that. The best thing that they could have did is, and I hate to be frank about this, if you're gay, shut the hell up
Right.
and play.
No, yeah,
Exactly.
totally. No, I agree with you.
Exactly.
And I mean,
I had gay teammates that I know for a fact were gay, and I don't care as long as you can block, tackle, catch, or kick, whatever.
Well, they can block and catch and kick.
So,
are you a pitcher or a catcher?
So they
in
made
this?
an issue that they shouldn't have made an issue out of.
Yeah, I mean, this is the question I ask everybody when this whole gay issue comes up. Would Jason Collins' sorry ass have ever been in the White House or Oprah's couch or on the cover of Sports Illustrated because if he was a straight guy, would he have ever made the cover of any of those magazines or been with the president? He was at the State of the Union address sitting with Michelle Obama. Only thing he did was he said he's gay.
Yeah.
If that's what your lifestyle is, more
So be
power
it.
to you.
But
So
Exactly.
I agree with you though.
Yeah.
what about the other guys who come into the game? They polish off their skills. They're actually good at it because Jason Collins sucks
Oh,
at basketball. And what about those guys that are successful, but they don't get those opportunities because they're straight? See, now
Exactly.
we can play the other side of the coin.
Exactly.
So the best thing that they could have done in that situation, hey guys, there's some heat on gay people right here. I'm not telling you don't be gay. Just go over there and win those.
But you're an athlete.
that's
Go
it.
over there and win those gold medals and come back.
Well then, because I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's like when it would be like saying, well, I'm straight, right? And I think it's what you're
And
saying.
make a
Just
big-
be
make a big
yourself.
deal out of it.
We don't care what you are. Just do your job.
Yeah.
Because now it turns into a political
If
platform.
anything, you had an opportunity to make them look like asses because you go over there, you win the gold medals, and then you say, "Oh, by the way, you got beat by a gay guy."
That's the.
you know what I'm saying? That's the way you.
Well,
the way
it's
you
true.
talk
I think you're right.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. I mean, I like to use, myself as a stereotype. Sometimes I dress down, I'm still some semi-young black man, I guess you could say. And,
Oh, you're
people,
young.
People feed off that stereotype. Oh, he's hood, he's stupid, he's ignorant. You know what I'm saying? I got a T-shirt and or jersey and some jeans on. I'm chilling. And then I open my mouth. And when they realize that their IQ is here and my IQ is here, it crushes their ego. And they had an opportunity to do that same thing with this whole situation and say, hey, you guys are so hardcore pro-gay. Do you realize you got beat by gay people?
Yeah.
You see how ignorant you look now?
Because
that's what I'm saying. They had an opportunity to make that statement.
It's kind of like with Hitler and
Exactly. I was just going to bring that
That's
up.
a good idea.
Exactly.
But you know what?
I thought of that.
Yeah, it was because they took the African American athletes, but the athlete they won
Yeah, yeah.
and proved him
And there was
wrong
nothing they could do about it.
and proved him wrong. So I think that's what they're trying to do.
Right.
They're trying to break that barrier with that.
Hey, by the way, Richard has a show tomorrow, right?
That's right,
What
yeah.
time? On this channel?
On this channel from 4 to 7 p.m., it's Sports Talk Live. We're going to be live. It's going to be myself. Our host is Craig Shilton. Some of you folks out there from sports radio land know him as Lesbian Craig. That's his name.
Speaking of,
I think the moniker is the obvious, which kind of talks about his preference. But Lesbian Craig is our host. We're gonna have Kim Davis from Fox 26. She does the talk segments.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
A 3-hour show, man.
3-hour show, and then we're also gonna have Patrick Creighton from 16 AM radio.
Oh, okay. Who's your pick for winning the
I got Denver, man. My boy Peyton Manning, he just got the eye of the tiger, man.
You think?
But if you would like to talk to us right now, the number is
you can
posted
call.
on the screen. Give us a call, and please be nice and say good things, because last time we had some.
Is it okay if I address that for a second?
Yeah, please do.
All right, okay. So all you ignorant, let me tell you about another skill set that I have, because I've been involved in radio for a little while myself, and I'm used to handling callers. My host Craig is, he's been my mentor, so he taught me the ropes of the game, how you deal with stupid, ignorant people. So let me tell you something. You call them here with that foolishness if you want to. We will put you on blast tonight. I will find out who you are. I will change my name. I'll Facebook friend you. I'm going to copy a piece of this segment. I'm going to put it on YouTube. I'm going to load it on your Facebook page so everybody on your friends list can see how stupid you are for calling them here with that foolishness. So we're going to handle that tonight. So all the smart people, you're welcome to call. Ignorant people, you're welcome to call too. But just be warned.
know that you're.
Disclaimer. We can't roll it on the screen here, but the disclaimer is, you call them here with that foolishness, you're going to get handled tonight.
There you go. There you go. You've been warned.
And me.
You know what that is?
And him. Yeah.
And me.
And that guy.
You know what that is? You know what
you
that
already.
is? That's ground beef in the taco, baby.
But the number's there, guys, so just give us a call. 713-807-1794.
And if you have a complaint about the voice, because we can't hear what you guys are listening to, so if there's a sound check that we didn't do or something.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, but I was gonna ask you this, okay? What team has the best looking cheerleaders?
Ooh.
Overall?
Overall.
Yeah.
Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah?
This is gonna surprise you, and I'm a Cowboys fan. I've
Okay.
been a Cowboys fan since
Okay.
2006. Man, Cowboys ain't got it no more.
Oh, they don't?
No?
The Atlanta Falcons, the Miami Dolphins, the Oakland Raiders. Ooh, man.
Oh, yeah, okay, the Raiders, yeah.
The Raiders have some
Yeah.
hot looking babes.
The Raiders are
It's
kind of hot.
honestly
I
the
think that
weirdest damn thing to
Atlanta
see a
does
Raider
too.
game. If you actually been to a Raider game, because it's like walking through the pits of hell, and you see, to be frank, basically the trash of life. If life was to bend its rectum over, it would probably point it towards Oakland. I mean, this is the kind of folks that you see.
I
in that
agree.
stadium.
I'll have to
And
agree with
then
that.
You part this gigantic sea of foolishness, and you look down on the field, and there's like, wow, look at those.
Where'd they
girls,
come
man.
from?
Where they come? What are y'all doing?
Yeah,
here?
yeah. I've seen that. That's beauty.
I don't know if it's the foolishness behind them that makes them look better.
Why don't you have some cheerleaders on tomorrow?
Hey, if you're in cheerleaders
Yeah.
watching, you're welcome to come tomorrow.
If you're a Texas cheerleader,
In your outfits.
I mean,
in your outfits.
if you're, a Texas cheerleader, they only saw 2 wins. That's all. So why go
you're
cheer?
welcome to come hang out with us. because We're winners.
I
You
mean,
hang around Texas, you won't be
That was-
winning very often.
how many games did you predict they were going to win? This past season?
I had them at about 8 or 9. Honestly, I had them anywhere from 8 to 10.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So what else do
Okay.
you got?
What else are we talking
Okay,
about?
this is one that pissed me off. It just pissed me off. I am so
We
mad
can't
at
say
this.
pissed, okay? But
Okay, well, you can't say
I'm
piss?
kidding, eh?
Because that's not what I
I
want.
know.
That's not what I say. I really want to
Okay,
say.
go ahead, say it.
Really made me angry.
This is about the lunch and the kids. This just blew me away.
Okay, go ahead.
Shame.
About the lady that was she the cashier lady at
Well,
the,
we just
It was
talking about ignorant people.
several, yeah.
yeah, and the first graders didn't get a meal because their mom owed money, their dads and parents owed money.
Yeah, exactly. And some of them were on I guess the government where they
Right.
they get,
Yeah, I
do
used to be on
government
that. Let me tell you what, I have to have my food. You know, and these are
Okay.
first graders. Oh
Now
my
you know what
God.
you know what that is? Those are people that are told what to do, and without thinking the consequences, they go and do it
But there's-
in the worst possible way.
There's a little more to the story on what happened.
First graders.
Right, but that they had already sat down with their meal. They
Exactly.
were already at the table with their
already had
meal.
the food in front of
Right, and it was 40 kids, and they were ordered to come and take the food, and then the food was thrown away in the trash.
So it wasn't like
Food
okay,
was taken off their table. Like, give me that plate. They took it away from them.
so in other words, they ruined a good meal.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, George, if you're having a bowl of guacamole, which you love,
That's
and I
me.
just come and take it away from you,
Yeah.
wouldn't you be mad as heck?
Well, I would be mad, but a child, I think, is scarred.
Well,
Yes, of course it's
scarred.
Yeah.
prisoners get better treatment than those kids.
That's sad.
Prisoners get better
And
treatment
the
than
kids
those kids. did.
had no control over any of that.
That just made me really upset. So if you know somebody who
If you
went
know
through
one
that,
of those idiots, tell them to
oh
call
my
right now.
God,
We want to talk to
We
them.
want to ask
that
them
is
some
just
questions.
horrible.
Hey, I got a story that I want to do, and I know you guys are tired of this guy, but Ted Cruz. Okay?
Our buddy Ted Cruz.
This is like a highlight reel of jackassery tonight.
Okay.
I
But
think
here's
we're going to
the
do a
thing.
Ted
Here's the thing.
Cruz-a-thon.
We've talked about this guy, okay?
Yeah.
He's becoming an American citizen.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay, now, somebody has it. I don't know who has it, but what are the qualifications of becoming a U.S.
I have
senator?
that one.
What are the qualifications of becoming a U.S. senator?
I thought you were supposed to be a citizen already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, why hasn't anybody jumped on that story?
Exactly.
That's a story that any journalist would pick up and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to run with this. He's
And this is the same guy.
what are the
So
qualifications?
it says, the question is, what are the requirements to become a U.S. Senator? The answer, the Constitution lists 3 requirements for any individual wishing to become a U.S. Senator. A senator must, number 1, be a U.S. citizen for at least 9 years when elected to the Senate. Number 2,
Doesn't that bring up a big question?
yeah, he must be at least 30 years of age.
Okay.
And number 3, he must be a resident of the state that the senator represents. So those are the 3.
So he got 2 out of 3, I
Right.
think.
Because now, but would that bring into question if you have dual citizenship? Does that disqualify it?
Well, that to me begs the question: should there be a law that says you have to be an American citizen? You have
Exclusively.
to. Yeah, because I'm wondering if he ever checked off boxes during any of those 9 years, whatever it was, stating he was a Canadian citizen. Because this is a big thing to
And
me.
this is the same
It's a
dude-
big thing.
This is the same dude that wants to deport everybody.
Yeah, exactly. He
It's
wants
the
to.
border control. Oh, we have to
We
stop
cannot have-
immigration. People coming into
This
our
is
country.
this is
taking
to me
advantage.
is a
Mind
huge
you,
question.
Look,
Ted Cruz's ass came in this country and got a free education, but he wants to stop the same thing for everybody else.
And on top of that,
I'm just
the
saying.
government of Canada paid for his birth because it's free
remember, yeah.
medical.
Remember we talked about the slave trade where they were bringing illegals in? They just caught someone here in Houston. I think it was some Asian people bringing people here.
Oh,
Yep.
so
And remember, I don't know if they were Mexican or Latinos. I don't know what they were.
Oh,
I think they
they're
might have been
of
Asian,
everything.
and they were working in their
Yeah, because
establishments.
we've talked about this before. That when
Isn't
they
that something?
see when they go to the establishments to pick up illegals and all that, you always hear about they go to Mexican restaurants, Mexican grocery stores, Mexican whatever. You never hear going to any other like Asian place.
There's a lot of illegal Asians, especially in California.
But
we have. a
do
lot
you ever
of
hear about
illegal-
them raiding them?
Nope.
Very little. Maybe this time.
Well,
But,
we heard it this time, so it's one.
uh,
so
but-
they need to raid the
This
Senate
is
and
something
find
I've
out.
I've never seen anywhere. Maybe you guys can enlighten me. What's the breakdown in terms of like deportation? Like, is there any type of statistical breakdown as to are people from Latin America
Top of the list?
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I know it. We all know it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course
But,
they are.
has there been
course
any
there are.
statistics on? All right, here's who we kicked out of the country. Here's where.
Yeah,
they
there
came
are. Yeah, and a lot of them they deport to Mexico because that's the number one place they want to deport them to. And a lot of the people that get caught will say they're from Mexico because it's easier to come
Come
back.
right back. Yeah.
So
Exactly.
it's skewed anyway.
I do have to give you some kudos, George, because the last time I was here visiting and I was on the show,
Yeah.
we talked about the Ted Cruz coloring book.
Yeah.
And then, like about a week later, Ted Cruz was on TV, distancing himself completely from that
From the coloring
coloring book.
book.
Remember, we talked about it.
Yeah.
He went on the air to say that he had nothing to do with it. But it was a week after the show, so
Well, not
I
only-
want to say that the vatos made him do it. So.
Not only that, we talked about him not having filled out the paperwork to become a U.S. citizen.
Yes.
And a week after that, he said,
He
"Hey,
did too, yeah.
I'm going to start."
Well, it wasn't the same interviews that he was talking about.
And he says, "Yeah, I'm going to get my lawyers on it." He hadn't
So-
gotten his lawyers on it for months.
Yeah. So, just when you think this is just the little local Houston show, folks, no, we're targeting. We'll find you.
On the world politics.
We're watching you, people.
But that's the big gripe that I have about this guy is that, okay, you ran as a senator and you never told anybody that you had citizenship somewhere else. You didn't have American citizenship. You know, and this is kind of like under the table stuff.
This is something else I thought of. Wasn't this one of the most outspoken individuals about President Obama
He's
and his birth certificate?
he is the most conservative, he's the most
one of the
conservative.
loudest ones in the room.
Now, if you're going to be conservative, aren't you going to be like, hey, I swear to tell the truth forever?
Yeah.
Kind of like a George Washington, I chopped down the tree,
Yep.
but he was hiding something there, I think.
And I find it incredible that with all the stupid things that he represents, there are still a large group of Hispanic people that support him.
Because of Cruz.
Yeah, and I'm like, please, to my people, don't follow the last name. They're not always our friends.
Be smart. Be smart.
Well, you know, we did this before. He's Cuban,
Yeah.
right, descendant. There's Puerto Rican, Colombian, Brazilian, or, you know, different ethnics of Latin
Right.
or Hispanic, whatever you. So but we put in that one category.
Exactly. You put everybody in Latino. All of a sudden, everybody's Latino. So
Yeah,
everybody's
or Mexican.
I
Everybody's Mexican.
I've heard Greeks, they're Latinos, and Italians are Latinos.
Yeah.
But he's Canadian, along with Justin
Bottom line.
Bieber. Speaking of Justin Bieber.
Speaking of Justin
Maybe
Bieber.
cancels everything. I mean, 'cause
But I do wish that some journals will pick that up and say, hey, you know what? And we actually need a law that says you have to be an American citizen and check off the yes. You know how you check off everywhere else? When you get a license, you have to check off, yes, I'm an American citizen. When you go for a job
fill out an
application.
application. Are you American citizen?
And here's a guy that's a senator that has all kinds of secret information on the U.S. And
Maybe they should pull his application for senator.
Isn't that
You
kinda
check it
scary?
on-
I don't know why they're so scared
They can
of.
fire you for that if you lie on the application. Let's fire him out of the Senate because I know he lied.
just take him to
But
task.
why is it? And speaking of reporters, well, I was talking about Justin Bieber too. Deport his ass. Send him back along with Ted Cruz. Send him back. And that was just a quick note for anybody. Just go Google it because it's a stupid story. But there's over 100,000 signatures to deport Justin Bieber.
But see, this is the thing that with Justin Bieber. If you deport him, you have to make sure that his alter ego gets deported too. You ask me, I think him and Miley Cyrus are the same damn.
Well,
person.
is he an American citizen or
Did you see that photo online?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's Canadian.
Oh, he's Canadian.
Canadian, yeah.
Oh, I didn't
So they
know
want to
that.
deport him too.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I was going to say, I wonder why. And speaking of that, because I was going to talk about Congressman Michael Grimm
Oh boy.
and that threatening that. Did you guys see? And for anybody watching, for anybody who watches the Grimm on TV, this was such a grim moment. Like he was so threatening.
That's the right name too, Grim.
I'm surprised why reporters are so scared of asking those questions. And this is why, for those of you who know about Representative Michael Grimm, who was asked about some accusations that were done on funding.
Yeah.
And he thought the camera was off the air, much like we do on the show sometimes. And he started threatening the reporter who is for, it's called NY1, which is a local channel in New York. But now it turns out that Jon Stewart, who's a fan of the show, of that network, came out to defend the reporter.
Well, all reporters should defend it. I think they should all come out
The
and
reporter was doing his job.
Right? So
yeah, they should all come out and say, hey, this was ridiculous. To add to that, remember we talked about Christie when he jumped on that reporter and called him an idiot and what, are you stupid and all that? They should have all come out and said, hey, wait a minute, this guy's doing his job.
Exactly.
He's doing his job. I mean, you know, when like going back to sports, if a guy gets called on a penalty, it's because he's trying to do a good job. They don't come out and say, "Are you stupid?"
Exactly.
And that they
Well,
may do it.
Didn't
but
they just have something in sports? One of the guys they were fighting over how smart he was, and I forgot. I kind of just watched it briefly.
He's talking about Richard Sherman.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that
yeah,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to hear your opinion on Richard Sherman.
it's plain and simple. You know, you have guys that are highly emotionally charged for any football game to begin with. Not to mention, this is the second biggest game of the year. This is the game that determines you going to the Super Bowl. You got a smack talking opponent because Michael Crabtree was running his mouth the whole freaking game. You got two teams that already don't like each other to begin with. He steps up, he makes the biggest play of his career, and as soon as that's over, what do you have to say?
Right.
He didn't have time to cool off. He didn't have time to, filter his thoughts, to think about the team. All I know is I just went over to, they showed the video later. He went over to try to congratulate the dude, say, hey, great game. And he, boom,
I saw that.
him. So what did you expect to come out of his mouth after that?
So that's my, because for anybody watching, there was a YouTube video of the moment right after the game ended where he gets smacked by the other guy.
Yep.
And then after that, he gets interviewed by the reporter, the lady.
Yeah.
So but people didn't see the whole picture together,
not
right?
even
The other thing
Not
that
even the
they didn't
reporter.
see, because when he first got on mic, he called Michael Crabtree sorry and said, I'm the best ever. He was charged at the time. When they stopped airing, but they were still rolling, and there's a video available. He was pretty calm. He was chill. He started talking about his team,
Right.
which everybody say, oh, he put himself in front of the team. No, he had a moment. The dude was passionate.
Right.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
dude talked trash to me, and I just
Basically,
shut him down.
He was insulted
He
at
got
the point.
that out, and then when he calmed down a bit, first thing came out of his mouth is, "It's a great team win. I'm so happy for my teammates. We're gonna do this together." So all this BS about Richard Sherman being a ham and being a jerk, and I even heard people call him a thug. Senator Graham is a thug.
Yes.
That's a thug.
That's a-
He
Go
back
threatened to
to-
throw the man off the damn balcony. That's a thug. Calling somebody sorry does not make you a thug. If it is, then call me a thug because I'm gonna call y'all sorry. For those of you who
but
have
here's,
problems.
here's a guy in the Senate, and he's telling a reporter.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw you off this balcony.
That's Sopranos stuff right there.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, think about it. The reporter is already intimidated.
Yeah.
And okay, from this point on, he's never going to be the same talking to the guy. It's not going to
No.
be the same because
But that's why I guess those are a couple of points to put out. It's like, one, you voted for these people, whether you're a reporter or not. These people are there because you put them there. So you should not be afraid of them. They should be afraid of you.
Exactly.
And then second of all, for anybody out there, we live in a world that's surrounded by cameras. I mean, right now, as we're talking, if you guys see the microphone right there, I'm recording for my podcast that will be airing later, and we'll talk about that in a bit. So there's always some camera. There's always a microphone
Always
somewhere. We live in such a world that you're never
everybody's
not
being
heard.
spied on. And
Something's always heard. If not, you can watch, like, was it Spike TV, World's Dumbest, and Most Shocking, which I love the shows, but somebody is always watching what you're doing.
And
Somebody.
talking trash.
So stop scratching your butt and watch
we're
TV.
not.
You know what? Give us a call. We want this phone to light up. We've been waiting for you to give us a call. Let us know what you think about some of the topics, and we got plenty more. So
You think I scared away stupid people?
do what?
You think I scared away
They're all homo. I'm not going to call them.
Not ringing.
Oh, it'll ring.
Oh.
It'll
What
ring.
else? I heard what he said, though.
what else? What else do you want to talk about? You got something else?
I got plenty, but go ahead. I don't know if you
Well,
want.
you were talking about the guacamole. We brought up the guacamole,
Yeah,
which I was
yeah,
supposed to
yeah,
bring
yeah.
guacamole to this next show, and I didn't bring it.
What's the best thing to eat
I
at
could
Super
bring
Bowl?
guacamole tomorrow.
So I have a story here about guacamole. If you are a guacamole maker like I am, not to insult any of the Mexicans, if you like making guacamole, and it always turns brown right before the party, and you
Yeah.
make it, and there is a secret to it, and it's 2 pages, but I'm going to give you the basic one. What you do for your guacamole is
keep the guacamole nice and green.
for when your guests get there.
And pretty.
Is you make the guacamole and you put it in one of those tight lid containers
Plastic container.
Yeah, kind of like a Tupperware that holds the tight air.
Okay.
What you'll do is once you put your guacamole, make it nice and level. Put about a half an inch of water. Seal it tight,
Warm water.
and then just put it in the fridge. It says, lukewarm water, lukewarm. And then just put it in the fridge and just keep it in there. And it will hold up to 3 days. Once you're ready to serve it, you just pour the water out, just move it around a little, mesh it up a little bit again so it gets moist, and it's ready to serve. And it won't,
You don't have to put the bone in it.
you don't have to do anything.
seeds
You
or
can if you want to, just for looks, but it will hold up to 3 days. So there you go, folks. That's a secret for
That's
your
amazing. It'll hold
guacamole.
3 days.
So to my producers who are listening to this,
That's
at the next company party, the guacamole will not be brown this time. Nothing against anybody brown.
But the brown is not bad for you.
No, it's not bad. It's just
People don't like
it. Don't
it.
look pretty.
Yeah, yeah. I used to work in the meat department, and the meat would turn brown, and you stick that underneath the pretty-looking meat, and people buy it.
Yep. I noticed that, like when you buy those,
That's
like
because
when
of
you-
the oxygen.
Secrets, folks.
the
See,
oxygen.
everybody.
I noticed that when you buy those steaks, they'll stack them like layer 'em real tight on top of each other.
Yeah.
You peel that first steak back, like what the hell?
Yeah, yeah, that's an old
Is
steak.
this cooked already? It's brown.
Yeah, exactly. It's an old
It's
steak.
because of the
Ground
lack
beef.
of oxygen.
No, it's old.
Oh, it is?
Ground beef
Oh,
comes
well,
like
then I
that
won't buy it no
sometimes.
more.
But it's not bad for you. You can still
No,
eat
it's
it.
still good. It's still good. No, don't go complaining. But if you're gonna make guacamole, remember, put it in a light container. Put half an inch of lukewarm water. Put it in the fridge. It'll hold up to 3 days in there, and it won't turn
And if you
brown.
think you can make some good, I was gonna say some good guacamole.
kick-ass guacamole?
Yeah, some kick butt guacamole. Give us a call so we can give the recipe
Hey,
to
yeah,
George.
yeah. Well, I'll take another recipe.
I forgot I was on
called
TV.
once and gave me a good one. Let me see. What else you got? You got something? If not, I'll do this one real quick. I went to renew my plates.
Uh-oh.
There were 3 clerks. This was over on Clayton. It's on the west side of Houston. Okay, you have to go there yourself because of course, I didn't have time to send it in and all that. So I thought, okay, I'll go. Worst mistake: 3 clerks, 70 people in line, minimum, 2 to 3 hour wait.
Wow.
Is that ridiculous? If that was Walmart, they'd be out of business.
Yeah.
I think that's ridiculous. You know,
But you know what? It used to be worse years ago at the Social Security office, but now they have a system.
Ooh.
They have a system now.
well, I think they
They need to
fix it.
develop a system for that
because
IRS is
they're
the
people
worst
with kids. They're people with kids there. The kids after 20 minutes, I felt bad for these people, but I felt worse for myself.
But we live on an internet world now. Just about anything you want to do, you can do online. Just people
Except
don't
for
know.
that, you can't do that.
Wait, what was it again? I'm sorry.
You can't renew your license plate if it's
Oh yeah, no, it's a license plate
after
now.
a certain date.
Yeah.
But nowadays we're like good examples. Like here's a good example. Every time you put your information online, guess what? Identity theft.
Oh yeah.
And since we're talking about that, it's Taco Bell. A person was working at Taco Bell and the drive-through and was stealing the people's card number. They got caught because she was swiping it and she had one of them little what do you call it? You put them on your phones and you can just swipe it
Oh,
for
the
you.
little chip thing.
Yeah, you can just do it for yourself.
Wow.
And they caught this person doing that. So it's hard. Like me, I don't like to do nothing on the internet.
Oh yeah, like in Target, they got all those Target.
I even have my
Target
debit.
and
I
Macy's.
even have
Now
my
here's
debit
my
card stolen
question
one
about
time
that.
because of
Okay,
that. So
you
my-
hear about
my money.
the
my debit.
NSA that they're taking all this information from everywhere. Why don't they catch these guys?
Exactly.
But did you
Not very good
know
as far.
You're not a good spy if you can't do that.
But it wasn't just
I
Target.
give 'em-
How many other stores?
it was
recently?
Macy's and three other undisclosed
I mean, what
stores?
would you give them a D minus for spying like that?
That's
it's like
minus.
it's like you got all this information and you can't catch one of these guys
Exactly.
that's doing this stuff.
Well, that kind of tags on to this story about if you look on your charge account and you're looking through your bank account and you see a charge for $9.84, and it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but what they do is it's this company called EETSAC.com or CESWCS.com, and Google that, or an EDUACC.in, which it'll look weird, but if you see it and it's not 984, they do this to like millions of people, and they get paid, and it's for some kind of
It's a scam.
an online service. But if you see on your bill and it says 984 and you're not sure what it's about, call your bank because they're pulling money out of your account. And they do this to millions of people, so they're making tons of money off of this.
Yeah, the
which
people
tags
buy
on to what
cars.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
And also, there's a big story in California. A waiter was fired because he would add money to their the tip.
Additional.
So always when
Always
you
go back and check.
when you pay with the credit card and you're tipping, go back and
Zero it
check.
out. I zero it out and I give them cash.
Yeah, that's always the best way to do it because that way you know that you've two out. But people try to be smart, and unfortunately,
Yeah, but
you're a dumbass.
do you check your checking account very often? Because I don't.
I do.
I mean, I'll check it, but not real often.
I do
I used
because
to
I'm
do
poor, so I have to make sure that
I have to make sure-
mama money is there.
Let's see. Do I have enough for gas?
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yes.
yeah. We start transferring money over because like, oh my god.
Well, there's a new one. It just was on the news today about,
Oh,
yes,
What the
yes.
heck is that all about?
Hello there. How you doing?
Hey, good. Are y'all there?
Yes, we're here.
Hey. Unfortunately, the webcast is a little slower. This is Christian from California.
Oh, hi, Christian.
How you doing there?
Hey.
I think I recognize that voice.
Oh, okay.
I was just going to, I was going to bring up a topic that I thought would be interesting for you guys to discuss. I don't know if you had, because I missed the first part of the show, was the topic dealing with the Utah school kids who had their lunches taken away from
We
them.
just talked about
We
it.
just talked
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Oh, you see your podcast, you see the webcast is behind.
What do you think of that?
Well, I think that it was a disgrace. Literally, I thought the word disgusting came to mind. That's just one of the. You never punish a child for the parent's action.
Exactly.
Right.
You don't punish them because you're not hurting the parent, you're hurting the child. And to deprive a child who can't afford lunch or can't have a lunch of their own, this may be the only food they get for the entire day.
Well, let me ask you this, Christian. Don't you think that it's the Christian thing to do? You're teaching the child that you're not going to have food that you didn't pay for.
Yeah. Well, you're teaching. I can understand that, but really, the Christian thing to do would be to be charitable and not punish the child. But go into the parents' work and then humiliate them there.
But it's the parents' fault.
I was
not
kidding
the
about
child.
that.
It's
You
not
know
the
that,
child's
right?
fault. It's the parents' fault.
Yeah, but I was kidding about that. But you see what I'm saying, right? These,
I totally get it.
You have
and even the conservative, Mormons who supported him and really got him voted into office were at arms with this, up in arms, because every faith on the planet, no matter what the faith, supports children.
Yes.
And it doesn't support taking food out of a child's mouth and letting them go hungry because their parents are incapable of meeting their responsibilities.
But putting that on a bigger scale, now they're taking these checks away from these people that are unemployed, and they're saying, well, they need to go to work, but they don't know the consequence.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, but there aren't any jobs. Yeah, why don't you all do your job? Do your job for Washington so we can have jobs.
Okay, that's why you see crime rate going up every day. Somebody getting jacked, robbed, killed in the driveway in the house, at the jewelry stores are getting broken into, anywhere they can, because that's what's going to happen if this keeps on happening. And it's going to get worse.
But, man, thank you so much for the call.
Thanks for calling, Christian. Say hi to your parents.
I will. Thank you, guys. You have a good night.
See you in California. Christian is a friend of mine in California.
Ah, okay.
So he's watching.
Well, hi, everybody.
Yes, and if I can
Yeah.
do a quick shout out, Dan, who watches the show every time that I come to, he's sick, so I hope you feel better, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Well, at least the phone is working. Yay!
Yay! Because last time I was here, we had a bunch of calls the last time, and we couldn't take any of them.
Well, we had some other calls, and we didn't want them.
Do we have another story? Or
Yes, I have a weird one, if you want. This is strange. This is
do that weird one first.
unbelievable. Thieves stole John Paul's blood from an Italy church. Now, I'm Catholic. Don't get me wrong. But what are you doing with John Paul's blood? I mean, I don't know. Is it for ceremonial purposes? What do you need his? I thought when you die they embalm you and discard your blood.
Yeah.
But somebody wanted his blood.
But why did they keep it? Is that for ceremonial purposes or healing purposes or practices or rituals?
I'm curious,
I mean, I don't
where was the
understand.
blood? Where is it?
Yeah.
And why would they
And
keep
why?
it?
It says there, I don't remember what the story exactly how it was, but they had taken it out, well, I think when he was shot or something like that. They
saved blood for
they
him?
saved it for a while.
The early 90s or something like that?
Yeah, I
You
think,
know what I'm saying?
don't quote me on that, but
This is
yeah.
this is a very Twilight.
Well, I
It
know.
was a while because I was
strange.
Well, see, I know, like, since I'm Catholic, like some of the saints, what they'll do, especially the dead ones, they'll break pieces of bones off and put them in different churches.
So now you
as
can go
a-
look
as
for the
a-
bones and steal
A
the
holy
bones.
thing to
Maybe
worship and stuff.
Maybe we're starting a whole trend.
This sounds like
I thought we were not supposed to worship the flesh.
I don't know.
Maybe the blood is worth something, though, I guess.
this
Well,
sounds
anyway,
like a really bad Nicolas Cage movie.
If you know why they do that, give us a call. Let us know.
They're
because
all bad.
I don't know.
They're all bad.
Maybe there's something.
The number's on the screen, guys. 713-807-1794. Call in.
Did you have a story there?
We talked about the smog. For those of you who talk about the ozone layer and talk about how we're destroying the planet, and especially here in the United States, in big cities, I live in Laguna Beach out in California, but LA is full of smog, and Houston is definitely going in that direction. If you Google, and if you don't believe this, Google Beijing TV monitors sunrise, and you will get a photo, and that one's not on here, but they have big monitors, huge monitors out in the plazas. So depending on what side of the city it's on, you can see on the monitor the sunrise or the sunset.
And why is that?
Because the smog is so thick that they can't see the sunrise or the sunset.
Wow.
So in order to, and we don't have that
to watch the sunrise and the sunset
on a monitor.
pay-per-view.
Yeah, so we don't have that photo.
Outdoors.
We don't have that photo here where I would show it, but Google it so you can see what I'm talking about.
Sounds like a.
But and that's why you see all these people taking pictures, but they all have
The mask.
the mask because the smog is so thick that they can't even see the sun anymore.
I don't know if you ever remember that movie. That 80s movie. It was my favorite, Blade Runner, and it kind of reminds me of this.
Yep.
That it's going to get to that point where we're going to have to just be like that.
But the story was also that not only is Beijing, India is
Oh yeah,
too, right?
yeah. Delhi is actually worse than Beijing, but it's I guess because
Pollution's ridiculous.
they're so advanced in technology, they can make a
But
big
they-
old monitor.
But it's amazing to me because they're polluting the whole world. Period. I mean,
Yeah, 'cause
when
it
I was in the
moves.
Middle East, it was the same thing. That people have no idea the amount of pollution that goes on.
Well, let me ask you something because people were talking about the global warming and all this, and we just had our polar vortex and we just had
Twice.
our Texas blizzard.
Twice.
So do you have to? That's what
I
I
had
call
one
it.
at-
If you
at
want a
Dairy
Texas blizzard, go
I had one at
go
Dairy
to a
Queen.
fast food restaurant. I'm not gonna say their name, but you know they sell Texas
It
blizzards.
rhymes with Dairy Queen.
Oh, okay. Well, you know. He said that. I didn't say nothing
Ooh, it feels like a blizzard in here.
Yeah.
because I don't want to go through what Oprah Winfrey did with the meat. I ain't saying nothing.
Anyway, what were you getting at? What were you getting at?
I forgot now.
Well, okay,
Okay. I was saying, because you're talking about all the smog. And then, we just had our polar vortex and now we're sweating right now. And a couple more days, we're going to be freezing again.
again.
Right.
So what's going on?
It's part of that. It's
part of
all
the
part
whole
of
thing,
that.
isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yes.
Well, I hope,
And it's not going to fix by itself.
no.
Well, didn't we talk last time I was here about after the tsunami that happened, that all that debris, did we talk
yeah, the
about
debris.
Yeah,
all that
yes.
debris is sweeping into California.
this-
Well, since you live in California, do
we're
y'all see it?
You know what? There's people that go out fishing in out in deep sea
Right.
waters, and they've noticed some of it. They're in Laguna Beach, it's Orange County, California. There are big events that happen where we go out to the beach and just
Yeah.
clean up the beach. There was this event called 30 and 30, and they picked 30 beaches along the shore in
Right.
Orange County. And in 30 minutes, you just went and picked up as much trash as you could. And they got as many people as they can. It hasn't picked up, but if you find me on Facebook, I will give you more information on that.
Yeah.
Because I'm part of an organization in
Yeah,
Laguna
and
Beach.
you guys
that
actually
we're-
pick up a lot of trash.
But they said that debris is the size
and a lot of them are
of-
tourists that we're trying to get rid of. But
I heard it was
bum, that was a dumb
like
joke.
vehicles and stuff.
everything. It's,
yeah,
it's,
yeah.
it's,
There's
houses. And,
Wow.
there's
size
a.
of-
I apologize. I think they said that the little island that's moving of debris is almost the size of Texas.
exactly.
That is,
Huge.
that is moving towards California.
Yeah.
So it'll be about a year or so when we start seeing more stuff. in
I
California.
hope the media will show this because I know they mentioned it really quick and kind of just got out of it. But if you start seeing these things, it's like the media never show the dangerous things. Just they want to show.
It's all about keeping things politically correct, so to speak, because there's a lot of money out there in that water. I mean, if you remember when the first reports came out about the BP spill a couple years ago, it's going to take, I think they said like 60, 70 years or something like that to ecological. And all of a sudden, you got these damn BP commercials and you got
That's
happy
clean.
people fishing and swimming and, everything's just fine.
and believe them, right?
Golly gee, we're ready.
We're back to normal.
We love our golf.
And we're back to
So-
normal.
They cut the part out with the four-headed fish
I was gonna say.
right afterwards. They cut that part out.
So,
Don't believe it for a
And
second.
I've been watching the news lately, and like Texas, everybody's moving to Texas and buying those underground bunkers because
Why?
they're thinking the world's getting ready to end and stuff, and the world's the government's gonna break up. And I've been watching this movie on NBC called Revolution. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's a movie about where the everything falls apart and everybody's fighting for the struggle and to be number one and be control over
Far
what.
from that now.
We're not there far.
Well, we had this other story. This is out of Charleston, with the West Virginia, with the spill that they just had there, the chemical spill.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, West
And
Virginia, yeah.
apparently, the local government is saying that the water is drinkable. It's ready to drink. You're safe. You're fine. But there's a Dr. Rahul Gupta, who's the director of the Kanawha Charleston Health Department, who says don't drink the water. He actually doesn't let his family drink the water. He says that they really don't know how much chemicals went into the water, so that if you don't know what went into it, how do you know how to fix it, how to clean it? So for anybody who is watching, and if you're out in West Virginia and you're like, should I drink the water? This doctor says don't drink it yet because it's really not that clean, which is basically what you're talking about, BP. Don't believe everything they say. And there are actually kits you can go and buy, and you can order them online, and you can go to the water stores and test it and see what it is. I would be really excited if somebody actually did that and like called you up.
And put it online.
Yeah, and said, this is what I found. Because the waters aren't clean, even here in Galveston and Top Padre Island and stuff. So.
And you know, that's to me, it's one of the important things about living in this country, that you have regulation. And I know that everybody complains that regulation is regulation that, but you know what? It's important. It's important for the citizenry, and that's why a lot of people, I think, immigrate to the United States, because they know they can eat fish, they can eat, you know, different things that are looked at and inspected, and they're supposed to be, they should be.
We have no idea how good we have it.
Well, you know what, we had a caller a while back on one of the shows. He was from, we're talking about, I think it was the meat or something. He was from Africa, and another caller had called in and complained about that, and he said we don't know how lucky we are here, because in these other countries they don't have it this good. They have to eat what they got to eat. Well, you know, whether it got chemicals in it or not or whatever, they got to kill the animals right there and make it and cook it. And we can go to the supermarket and get it already clean cut, and you
The
know.
whole thing.
Everything.
And you know it's edible. It's healthy.
It's edible,
not bad.
yeah.
Well, I'm
For the most part.
gonna throw this wrench in that conversation.
Yeah.
Yet it's proven that we really are not that far advanced. We have less regulations on produce food, like canned foods, and there are things that are allowed to be put in our processed food that are not allowed in other countries. So as far as
Oh yeah.
all that stuff that they
that's
put.
True.
So speaking along the lines of chemicals and spills, you're putting some bad stuff in your food. There's more opportunities in this country, but as far as food, because they don't have processed food, because they can't afford canned food, a lot of people grow their own food and catch their own food, so they're actually healthier. I mean, it's just as far advanced as we are, there's something to the whole organic.
Let me not to change the subject, but to change the subject here. Hobby Lobby, they're saying that they don't want to pay for birth control.
Right.
So that
Well,
now with the
Because
new,
they're a Christian store.
with the new.
But isn't that a hobby now?
There you go, folks. We're not just reporters and commentators.
So what do you think of that?
Well, Hobby Lobby, just like Chick-fil-A, they're Christian-based stores. They don't open on Sundays.
Right.
Yeah,
So they
exactly.
respect all that. So I think that that's why they do it.
But do you think it's right?
Well, they have to follow what they believe, and I learned this from because, like, you know, for example, using condoms is against Christian values and stuff.
Yeah,
So they don't approve
Christians
it and they
do
don't
that.
support it, because they have to follow what they believe. So they believe in their book and their book. That's why they do this, and that's why Hobby Lobby is doing what they're doing, and that's why Chick-fil-A is doing what they're doing. But you know, it doesn't matter to me because
You think it's right though?
well, it may not be right, but this is how I look at it. You know, Chick-fil-A ain't gonna judge you at the end of the day. They're just gonna take your money and do what they need to do for them. But at the end of the day, God's gonna judge you.
Exactly.
So you and Fish-Fillet, I love them and everybody, but they're just a business, a money-making business.
Is it right? It's not our place to say if it's right or not. If you're a woman and you're gonna go and you're looking for a job, and you're on birth control, and your employer now is paying for it, and you go to Hobby Lobby and you say, well, now that I work here, you need to pay for it. Well, I apologize, but that's your dumb ass for going there.
Well, let me ask you this.
Why go to it? And let me go back to like the gay side of what we were talking about earlier. As a gay man myself, if I know that a certain company has a rule or has an opinion against gay people, why would I purposely, talking about the Olympics, why would I purposely go and find a job there? Why am I trying to prove? If they're already telling me we don't like gay people,
Right.
why would I put myself in that position?
But you're not proving something.
Yeah.
You're making something correct. You're correcting a wrong. you're
I
fixing
think
it wrong.
The counter argument to that is, what gives Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby the right to tell me, the employee,
Yeah.
because our relationship is here in the office or at your store. I work for you. I stock your product. I sell your products. I take care of your customers.
Exactly.
Right.
That's my.
You supply me with benefits, so you cut a check to my insurance company and pay for my benefits. What I do with my benefits is my damn business.
Exactly.
Well,
So, if it's gonna be like that,
Then they could regulate a lot of
they
things.
can start. Yeah, they can say, well, we're not gonna pay for root canals, so we don't believe in them. And then
And
you
they
start
can.
cutting back on your.
We're
on
not
your,
gonna.
you know,
Yeah, if we
where
find
do you
out
draw the line on that?
exactly, because they say, you know what, alcoholism is bad,
Right.
and we're paying you, and we know that you're an alcoholic.
Yeah, you gonna dock my check for drinking?
So therefore, we're going to
You know?
fire you. We're going to find somebody that's not an alcoholic. And by the way, this also is bad. Whatever, racing and this and that, and they can go. They can go further, and further, and further.
Saying you're fat, so we gonna
Yeah.
get money out your check.
Yes.
Which means my ass would be broke.
Now,
I just,
They would
and
send me a bill every 2
I
weeks.
totally get that side, but I just think there are.
you're not
there,
pushing an agenda on
Yeah.
them. You're actually just telling them, no, this is not fair.
Okay, but are you talking about going to find a job or people who work there already?
Both.
I think there's a difference. I mean,
Let
if
me
you
ask you- now,
if
let
you
me
already
ask you
work
this.
there, then you should retaliate.
Well,
you
let
should
me
put
bring up this point.
a fight.
Insurance can pay for Viagra. So it's okay for the man to be out promiscuous and do as he pleases. But what they're saying is, no, the woman cannot control her body. She cannot take a birth control pill. It's okay. We'll pay for the guy to have
Right.
Viagra because he has to have his fun and he has to enjoy it. But the woman, hey, it's a different story.
Women are not supposed to have fun.
Exactly.
You're going to get shot.
Equal rights. Now you want to get paid the same too.
I don't know you.
I don't know you.
So do you think it's kind of
I just think that when you sign up,
It's
I
critical,
think
isn't it?
when you sign up to a company, if they have their rules set, it is your choice if you want to work for them or not. Now, if you're already within the company and they change this rule on you, I think that once you have the right to stand up and say, hey, that's not right. Now, you run the risk of being the only one that stands up and argues, and it's easy to get rid of one. But when it's a group of women, then I think they can retaliate and
Because
protest.
I'll tell you what, I've worked in countries where if there's an adulterous situation, the woman gets stoned. And that's okay because that's the way it is in that country. But it's not okay, is it?
Well, it's not okay for us because
No,
we're not
but
accustomed to
because
that.
because I mean honestly, is it really? Would it be okay with you if they did that here because that's what they do in their country?
Well, I'm not a woman, but
Would it? I mean,
no.
basically don't
Joke,
give a damn, but they
joke,
just don't
joke
know.
is,
See-
actually, I honestly, when it comes to abortion, when it comes to abortion and birth control, I feel like if you're a woman and this really ticks you off that much, you should stand up and say something. But they keep, again, it's about falling behind and letting somebody else take over the situation.
Here's the other thing, though, and, to take it to the next level. What's the difference between Hobby Lobby and Chick-fil-A paying my insurance company, and you turn around and as a woman, use it for birth control, then me taking my paycheck and going to the doctor and buying some birth control pill with cash. I still use your money.
Exactly, that you-
secondhand to
Yeah.
do it.
Right.
It's the same freaking thing.
yeah.
I wish a woman would call in. I wish a woman would call in right now. Because we're a bunch of dudes here and we
I
have.
don't know what the hell we talking about, but
But I talked about this
We're a
one
bunch
time
of dudes
because
on
I thought,
steroids.
If I was a woman, there was no way I would be a Republican.
Yes, there are a bunch of them out there.
Yeah. I mean, this
And
guy,
Ted Cruz is not that cute, so stop following him around.
this guy Huckabee didn't talk about these women. What did Ted Huckabee say that was really crazy? It was like these women they're out of control and some sugar daddy thing. I don't remember what, but to me, it's pushing an agenda that's really not there, and everybody should really just tell these people, you guys are crazy, man. You're
maybe they
wackos.
should be stoned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
That's the
politicians.
answer.
We're down to about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, I got to change the subject because I don't want to get shot after the show.
I'm going home in a couple of weeks.
I got a story here that said, how do we used to look 7,000 years ago?
I was pretty.
I think we look the same.
I don't. Just look at how drastic it is from the 70s to now.
Oh yeah, because they found some. Like, what did they do? They found some jeans or something.
Yeah. some DNA from bones discovered in a Spanish cave.
Oh,
Oh,
damn.
wow.
And they figured out what they kind of looked like.
Yeah, so they look like the cavemen. You know that commercial, the
The
caveman?
Geico dude.
The
Yeah,
Geicos?
yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that odd, huh? Like the
With the long,
Smarter
I don't know
than
if you can
me.
see
Smarter
this. You
than
can't.
me.
You can barely
they
see
can't
it, but
see it.
he's dark and he's got the hair and the what do you call that? The
goatee.
Goatee.
the long beard,
Beards.
with the guy with what's his name?
Yeah, they look like James Harden.
The guy that the Duck Show with Duck Dynasty kind of
Oh,
look.
yeah.
Oh,
Kinda,
my.
but people are
Phil-
doing
Phil
that now.
Robertson.
It's coming back
Yeah.
in. So
Nappy beards are in.
your
And-
nappy
and-
nappiness.
At some point, we were all Duck Dynasty guys. So just like
Well, they didn't have no shampoo or nothing to clean their hair, so I guess they would have to look all.
before we run out of time, and since I'm going to put
Yeah,
this on my
go
podcast,
ahead.
can I plug this in for a bit? Shameless plug, folks, and I'm not embarrassed to say it. For those of you watching, I have a podcast show called Put It Together on abnormalentertainment.com. So just Google that, abnormalentertainment.com, which actually this show that you're watching right now will be on the podcast next week. So I'm recording to show it on there because my listeners keep hearing me talk about the show. And they're like, "Where is it? Why can't we find it?" So now, for everybody listening, if you want to Facebook me, Daniel Garza, or email me at danielggarza@hotmail.com. danielggarza@hotmail.com. I will give you all the information. But you can listen to this show again next Wednesday on my podcast show called Put It Together. Thank
Oh,
you.
great, great. Hey, Richard, what do you think about these Raiders? The chicks that are they're not getting paid. And,
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Apparently, there is a lawsuit that was released by one of the cheerleaders.
yeah.
She filed a class action lawsuit saying that there's a bunch of unpaid wages and they made the cheerleaders pay for their own expense and things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna lean back towards your comment now. See, I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite here. You sign up for this. Cheerleaders don't get paid a lot of money for working for the team. They make $10 an hour or something like
Yeah,
that.
something real.
You pay for the doors that it opens, because being a cheerleader opens you up through sponsorship deals. You can be a calendar model.
Yeah.
A lot of these girls, get opportunities. Some of them go into media and things like that. You have access to
So there's
people
no
of
Right.
influence.
so there's no real basis for this lawsuit.
Being a cheerleader is not a damn career. You're gonna be a cheerleader for 1 or 2 years old, because when
Well-
you're 23 years old, your ass is old.
So what is the lifespan? A year, 2 years?
A couple of years, maybe.
Because I've been, when I see some of these people auditioning for like the Texas cheerleaders, the Cowboys, the Texans, some of them say they're like 40, 50, and they look good. Don't get me wrong, but
Most of
They
those
can't do
girls,
it.
most of them are young,
like in their 20s.
20 to 25, maybe a little bit over that's pushing it.
Okay.
I know that there was a couple of ladies that were like 40, but they were just ridiculous. They looked,
Hot.
they looked the part. Oh yeah, they looked the part. But that's the exception, not the rule. You're not going to have someone that retires as a cheerleader after 20 years on the school.
They're not going to get the watch on the way out. That's not going to happen, ladies. Sorry, but
The first time that those pom poms start to sag a little bit,
Adios.
adios, you're out of there.
your pom poms are going to go boom boom. Let's get you out of here. Well, there's what was it? A reality show. The Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders had a reality show, so check that out. And a lot of
never
them,
saw it.
they don't stay long.
Is it
But-
still on?
Yeah, I think they're having another season.
Really?
But it says on there, like, you're not going to make a lot here, but sponsorships and we have another caller.
Let's see who it is. Hi, how you doing?
Hello, hello.
How you
I
doing?
have a comment about the insurance and the cheerleaders
Oh,
Great.
as a woman.
Thank you.
Okay, first of all, what you said about the cheerleaders need to go for the insurance also. As a woman, I know what I need to do to take care of my body. If I get a job and they say, okay, we're not paying for this, if I want it, I'm going to go get it. Now, if I'm overweight, why are they not pushing to have lap band surgeries on all insurance policies then?
I agree.
They don't do that for fat people. So why are they so pushing for birth control? You sign up for what you get. Most insurance companies don't pay for a lot of things. They're just pushing this because it's Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby. Let those people have their beliefs. If you don't want to believe in what they believe in, don't go work with them.
But
It's simple.
here's the counter argument to that. They're cutting a check for benefits. They're not cutting a check for birth control. They're not, you happen to have access to birth control through your insurance policy, but that relationship is between the employee and the insurance company. So who are they as the entity, Chick-fil-A or Hobby Lobby, whoever? Who are they to tell you what you should and shouldn't be covered for in your policy because it's not what they believe?
Okay, and if you look at your insurance policy, there's multiple things that's not covered on your insurance policy. If you have pre-existing conditions,
Right.
9 times out of 10, it's not covered.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have AIDS, for example,
Well, that
and
actually
I get
changed
a job,
that actually changed
and
with
they
the
don't
Obamacare
cover
law.
it, am I supposed to raise a red flag and say,
Well,
where's my right?
Exactly. That changed with the Obamacare law.
But I have a question. Then we're saying that the people that work at Hobby Lobby do not practice birth control, as far as like with the condom or pills or anything like that, because Hobby Lobby is not for it. They're against it, and so they shouldn't hire people that do those things. You know what I mean? I mean, if I have a business where I can't have drug addicts working there,
So is that going to be an interview question? Do you have unprotected sex?
yeah, do you have unprotected?
But that's
I mean,
that's basically
Okay.
how far into an employee's life are we going to allow them to
That's
go?
like said in your interviews, you're going to sit there and admit, like you said earlier,
Yeah.
I'm an alcoholic. I do drugs. I have sex. Now, you tell me one person that really don't engage in sexual activities. You can't knock that out because they wouldn't have anybody working for
Well,
them.
that's
They have 1 or 2 people,
Right.
but you know.
Well,
Maybe.
I'm bringing up the discussion that maybe Hobby Lobby, when they interview people, they should sit them down and say, look, you know you're not going to get paid for birth control, and you know that we frown upon birth control, so therefore we're expecting you not to be honest with us and tell us if you do use birth control.
well, that's what she's saying. If
Right.
they ask you that, then as a woman, you can say, you know what, this isn't a job for me, and walk away.
But I'm not sure.
Correct?
I'm not sure that they can though. I mean,
They can't do that because
they can't-
that's discrimination.
yeah.
When you look at your HR rules, that's discrimination. That's
yep.
class
But,
Because
discrimination.
that
You
leads
can't do it.
towards that's the same thing as almost asking someone if
But-
they're pregnant, which is clearly a
we're running out of time.
Yeah, we're running out of time. But
Thank
let me ask
you.
you this: do you think women have more limits in the workplace and in life in general because of these kinds of things?
Yes, they do. And yes, I do. Because, like, I just had a baby, and I had to take off from work to deal with my baby issue.
Right.
And I'm glad that I had a great savings where I could spend time with my child. But going back into that work field, they're like, oh, are you going to have another one? And I'm like, no. Yes, I am a Catholic, and yes, I got my tubes tied, but no, I don't want no more.
Girl, and we just felt for you. We were like, are you serious? What the hell is?
I know I'm being
Anyway.
touchy on TV.
We're down to
but
the minute.
still,
We're down to the minute.
You know, yeah, that is something that's being dealt
That's
with right
crazy.
now.
That's crazy.
That's
Well,
crazy.
thank you so much
Thank you
the
for calling.
For the caller.
Bye-bye
No
now.
problem. Bye.
Okay, so we ran out of time.
Ran out of time.
We had a pretty good show, I think.
did.
I mean, we talked about some good stuff, okay? I mean, we left a lot of, man, I've got a lot of stuff that I want
know.
to talk about here, but like Krispy Kreme, talk about fat and ugly and
Well, I
stupid.
want to just say thank you for letting me come back and play with you guys. This
Oh,
was
man,
awesome.
I hope you had fun. Did you enjoy this?
I love coming.
Did you like playing
Thank you,
with us?
Houston, for. I love playing with you guys, especially when there's a big black man at the table.
Tomorrow, Richard's going to be king here from
Sports Talk
4
Live.
to 7.
Yeah,
Does that
Sports Talk Live
Same
right
channel.
here.
You can watch it on the web if you want,
Yeah,
right?
Or you can watch it on our website and check out our blog.
And if you're a cheerleader, call in or
Yeah.
come in.
Daddy
Come
is-
Thank you,
in,
Houston.
come in.
Daddy.
MediaWatch.com. We have over 1 million hits on our blog. We talk about everything involving sports. We throw it on the wall and we make it stick.
The sports guy. What do they call you?
It's great sports Morpheus.
The great
Morpheus.
sports
What does
Morpheus.
Morpheus
This is
I'm prophesying.
So-
Oh, by the way,
so thank you to all
I
our.
know that some of you guys are wondering. I'll go ahead and give you my prediction: 34-27 Denver.
Okay, I've got Seattle winning. Okay,
You're gonna be broke as hell.
you're gonna see who the real sports mogul is here. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Have a
Thank
good
you, guys. Thank you,
weekend.
Houston.
Be safe out there.
Bye.
We're done.